Much of the country is now moving towards reopening, but what that looks like depends on where you live. BC announced the first phase of its plan earlier this week, and that included the return of indoor dining. In Quebec, restrictions begin to ease tonight, and that starts with outdoor dining. So we wanted to hear from two restaurant owners in those provinces about this moment. Emma Cardarelli is the chef and owner of Nora Gray and Elena. And Matthew Senecal Junkier is the owner of Birds and the Beets and Honeybee Bruncheonette. And Emma Cardarelli joins us from one of her restaurants in Montreal, and in Vancouver, Matthew Senecal Junkier. Welcome to both of you.
Thanks.
Hi there, thanks.
I should point out we're pre-taping this interview because as most of our viewers watch it, the curfew will have been lifted in Montreal. Emma, hopefully you'll be really busy, but as we speak a few hours ahead of that, are you ready?
I mean, we're getting there. The tables are being set right now, or about 2 hours ahead of time, so that's early for us. It's great.
And you're opening up outdoors, so I understood that meant a trip to the hardware store.
Yes, we're opening outdoors only initially. We had our terrace built over the last couple of days, and last night I was at Canadian Tire buying a generator for our patio lights, so it's all little last minute details.
And so, Matthew, a different story in Vancouver. The restaurants were allowed to have inside dining as of earlier this week, so you've been reopened. What's that like?
It's been amazing. There's a real palpable sense of relief and excitement that you can feel from customers kind of sliding back into a restaurant booth for the first time, sharing coffee with a friend, et cetera, et cetera. So I kind of forgot what having people in the space was like, and it's been really nice to have everyone back in.
Yeah, I went to a restaurant last night with a couple of friends who were watching the hockey game, and it really, I like you, I forgot how many things that I missed about that. I put word out on Twitter maybe yesterday asking people what they missed about restaurants across the country, and I want to play you some tape of some of the answers we got.
I really missed the feeling of being part of something bigger, being part of a community.
It's bumping into friends that I haven't seen for a long time who are sitting at a nearby table.
It's getting together with friends and family over a good meal and a glass of wine.
The smile of the strangers all around me, togetherness, sharing food.
So Matthew, I mean, you talked about this a little bit before, but tell me more about what some of your customers have been saying to you.
Well, I think people have kind of seeing it as a harbinger of this all coming to an end, sort of the light at the end of the tunnel. Part of what makes restaurants so special were, what we lost during COVID, being in an energetic room with people, sharing food and drink with, friends or family. And I think people are just really ecstatic to see that coming back into their lives.
Emma, you switched, as so many restaurants did across the country, to takeout. Did you hear from some of your former indoor clients? What sort of things were they saying to you?
Well, everybody's, of course, very excited to, get back to being served and feeling the hospitality and the warmth of, what we do here. And that's kind of it, again, it is the same kind of thing. It's like the end. It feels like we're getting very close to the end of this.
Emma, I'm curious about, in terms of getting food and also of rehiring staff, how challenging has that been?
It was already challenging before the pandemic. There's has been a shortage of cooks for a few years, and because of the pandemic, a lot of people have kind of reevaluated what they want to do with their lives, and so there are even fewer still now. We're opening our first night, and I have a guy doing a trial tonight. Hopefully we can hire him. And yeah, we have a lot of new staff here. But everybody's really excited to get back to it. That really is it.
Yeah, and what about Matthew dealing with the job market in Vancouver? How's that been?
We've been fortunate because we've had patios open here sort of throughout. So we're not really starting from scratch. But it's certainly tightening up. If you look on any job posting now, just about every restaurant in the city's looking for staff. So a lot of green people in our restaurants, but I think customers are patient
Listen, this is a time to look forward and be optimistic, but I do want to ask each of you a question about looking back. And Matthew, even though you've had patios open throughout, or for the most part, it's been tough, I assume, financially.
Yeah, absolutely. It was something that was so unforeseeable, so acute, and really so severe in terms of any sort of volatility you'd ever expect sort of pre-pandemic. We've basically been operating at a loss for about a year, scraping by on government subsidies. We're certainly not out of the woods yet, as relieving as it is to see indoor dining. We've got loans to pay back and a whole number of deferred losses, deferred maintenance, the rest of it. So I think, we're seeing a light at the end of the tunnel, but there's still a long way to go for us, and I think for many restaurants in our sector.
And Emma, what about for you from a financial standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, kind of the same thing. Like I feel very fortunate to have been able to have access to the subsidies from Canada. They got us through. We would not have been able to be open if we didn't have them. We wouldn't have been making enough money at all. So it's fantastic that we had access to that. And, slowly but surely we'll get back into it and back together with... everybody's so enthusiastic to come back. I don't see us filling tables as being a problem.
It is still May, but I hope you have a safe and lucrative summer. Thanks for speaking with us.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.